Hello, my name is William Baber, and in this presentation for my final project for MBA 744, my analysis focuses on U.S. unemployment data from 2023 through 2025 with projections into 2026. The goal of this project is to identify the best states for Kiewit recruiting workers based on key workforce availability and participation matrices. The data sources that I chose to use was BLS, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, which provides the core unemployment and labor force data used in this project, specifically the location area of unemployment statistics database or data sets were used, and also to capture state level unemployment rates and labor force estimates. These data are updated monthly and are widely recognized as the most reliable measure of workforce conditions across the states. This allows me to calculate both total estimate unemployment workers and year-over-year unemployment trends for all 50 states. Another one I used for my data set was FRED, Federal Reserve Economic Data. I used to support unemployment statistics with broader economic context. FRED provides long-term trend series such as labor force, participation rates, and historical unemployment data. This ensured that the analysis wasn't just a snapshot of 2023 to 2025 year, but also incorporate patterns over time, which were essential for forecasting labor availability into 2026. The other thing I used was the U.S. Census Bureau. I integrated into the data set to normalize labor forces and unemployment numbers against each state population. This allowed the project to calculate more accurately measures such as labor force participation rate and trade or age-specific unemployment pools related to total state population. The census data also helped validate state-level labor pools to avoid skewed results caused by raw population size differences. In this image I have up, this is where I connected the different data sets to each other for 2023, 2024, and 2025. Here's an example of some of my calculations of what I did, such as total estimated unemployment, labor force participation, and YOY change, and forecast models. Here is an example of where I did the average rate, which we can go to edit. Here's my average rate. I also calculated calculated the unemployment people in each state. And then here's also my total estimated unemployment. And then let's go to the other one. Which here, if I go here and I go to my sheet, we can see our YOY change. Right here's my calculations for that. And how this came together was I used this to talk about my story, where I'm showing Kiewit should prioritize recruitment in California, Texas, and Florida for construction projects. So, with my visualizations, first I'm going to start with my KPI card. This is showing the total unemployment rate, and participation rate. This KPI sets the foundation for identifying recruitment opportunities. For example, Texas shows both a large unemployment population and a high labor participation rate, making it a strong candidate. You can also see on here that California and Florida also show the same thing, making it a high candidation rates as well. So I decided to use those three as my top recommendations for Kiewit's recruiting states. Now, I'm showing you my scattered plot. My scattered plot, which shows year-of-year change, percentage change, states trends. So this scatter compares state by unemployment, size, and year change. States trends upward may have growing pools, while declining trends suggest shrinking availability. So what this shows is that it just shows you that California is constantly large pools of unemployment across all age groups, especially in the general labor. This makes California the strongest recruitment hub for large-scale labor-intense projects. This also shows for Texas a steady unemployment across skilled trades and management. This provides Kiewit with a strong opportunity to recruit specialized and supervisory roles that are often harder to fill. Florida shows a balance of mix across all age groups with higher participation rates. Florida is a growth market where Kiewit can recruit younger workers for long-term training and retention. For the next one, I chose my forecast. Within my forecast, you can kind of see here that I chose to use the best age. So for California is a strong for younger labor, and this also helps reinforce my last, helping fill high demand and entry-level construction roles. Florida and Texas both forecast their large pools in the 55-plus workforce, suggesting a rich opportunity for skilled trades and management recruitment. This combination allows Kiewit to balance scale California with experience from Florida and Texas in its recruitment strategy. So this would help them overall recruit if they recruited mostly from those 3 states. Now with here, I have my heat map, which is left. I did leave it for people that are colorblind because I also am colorblind. So it has been very difficult for me to see some of these colors, but I have made the best and have asked people to help. But overall, what I'm seeing here on the heat map is I have labeled out like California, largest available workforce. California offers the largest recruitment pool in the country, particularly in the construction trade category. Its scale makes it the #1 target for labor sourcing, especially for large scale projects, recruiting diverse trade categories. The #2 is Texas. Strong participation, high supply. Texas combined a highly active workforce with a broad base of unemployment workers. This balances makes it a strategic secondary state for sustained recruitment, especially for skilled trades. Now, Florida is a high participation growing potential. Florida has slightly fewer unemployed than California, and Texas but maintains the highest participation rate, showing workers remain engaged in the job market. This makes Florida a high potential recruitment hub, especially for entry level and mid skilled labor. And so I kind of broke it down even more to go over it, and then I've also did call outs where you can see the actual numbers for these. And the reason why I chose to do this in this way is so that way when I present this to Kiewit, I can say these are the ones that I would recommend. These are the 3 states, and this is why. And if you read my report, I do go over where I talk about how Texas is actually in their top 3. And so what I've done is now this is also making a recommendation that they continue to use Texas, but that they also include California and Florida as well within the recruitment to make it a good recruitment process. Now, with my forecast, I chose to do an overall forecast just to make it a little easier. So you have California, Florida, and Texas. So that way it's easier to see the points. And what I did is I did a call out on the highest points of each one. So the most opportunity. So like, for example, within California, it's between 25 and 34, 55 plus, 55 plus. So you have more older here, but I thought that was interesting. I just thought I'd call that out. And then the reason why I chose this one is this one shows a good demographic, so you can actually see the trends on the different states, but you can also see the ages. So, as you can see here, let me go to the next thing. Okay. I did not include this into my sheet, but also I wanted there to be able to look at other states that we have jobs in and see what would be the best place to recruit. So what I did is I also left in this one as well for my storyboard, and it's what state should I recruit from. Now with this right here, you can see I really like the spiral, so I used the spiral, but it goes from all the way up to 2017, but it also goes per month, and it goes from 1976. And the reason is so that way, when you're going through the other stuff, you can double check to the unemployment rate for all of the US based upon that date. And so when we go into the second part, I do have my KPI as well in here. And of course, this KPI set the foundations for identifying recruitment opportunities. For example, when I was talking about Texas in the last one, you can still see that Texas in here, California's in here, and Florida's in here. But the biggest reason I used this was to make it a strong candidate. So within here, you can filter to the different states. I also left on my heat map for colorblind because I also am colorblind. And I believe that, this would also help me, like when you're selecting which states, you can see what's around and you can click it through the filter to see where the best place to recruit from is. If you see here, you can click on Colorado, for example, and you can see what they are. You can look around. Of course, it's going to be Texas is going to be the closest state to recruit from. But then also you have down here, which is my which is my stacked bar chart, and this one allows me to see the different types of trades. And the reason why I chose these trades from the get-go is because you've got your general labor, management, and skilled trades, which both of these are required in construction and design. And Kiewit is a big construction and design company. And when we go on to the next one, you've got your trades, and this is within 2025. So you can see directly with that year and then compare it to the history of the rates and kind of see where it is overall right now. And then for your trends in 2024, so I can look back at my trends and I can filter between the different types of labor, management, and skill trends, along with I can do the age groups, and also I can even go month by month. So this will allow me to do my comparison from the history, do my comparison with 2025, and then also do my comparison and also look at my trends. And the reason for which I chose this plot, the scatter plot, it allows me to easily see the trends between the different labor forces and the groups and the ages. Along with this, you can filter, and it'll actually filter them all to the different things. So if we wanted to, we could actually look for Colorado here and filter it. This would make it a lot easier to look at the different percentages and go back through. And then here's my forecast. And the forecast is overall based on age. So you can definitely check on the forecast on 26 and 27, for 2026, and see where the filter percentage is on the 25. And what this will allow you to do is this will allow you to make the decision on which state you should recruit from for which job, whether the job be in Colorado or whether it be in Texas, but you can also look at closer states to that as well. Now, if we go into my project dashboard, that's the one I used here, but this is for my overall project within 2025. So most of these stuff is based on your 2025. And then I have my unemployment rate for 2025, and this is an overall. And we've got right up here, we've got our line, and then we've got another heat one, and this one is based upon state. And this is for our population here. So you can do a comparison with your underestimating of seeking unemployment. So this will allow you to see, and this was also one that I did a formula for. So if we click here and we go to this sheet, I don't know why it went to this one. Let's go back to this one here. Click here. Let's try it again. Go to sheet. And you can actually see unemployment seeking work, which is right here. And if I go here, I can actually hit edit, and it'll show my forecast right there. But I let this one up because I think this is a good dashboard as well. So these are two. This is for 2025. This is a good dashboard for 2025 as well. It shows your unemployment rate. And then also I did left this one because this was a good dashboard for 2024. And then I still left these in here because these are my do not use. And I really did like these ones. So I left them in here, just it's all hidden. But when I cleaned it up, I hid it all. Now, when we're coming to the year over year, you can see right here that I chose to use the year over year in order to see the process of the trends and stuff, in order for Kiewit to tell that California, Florida, and Texas are good. And that kind of brings me to my conclusion when we're talking about the different states and which one Kiewit should focus on recruiting from. So in my conclusion, this tabular analysis provides a visual data-driven roadmap for Kiewit's recruitment strategy. By continuing to focus on Texas, which in my paper I say that Texas is one of the ones they're already recruiting from. It's one of the top 3 states, but they should expand into California and Florida. If Kiewit can secure a steady, diversified workforce across age groups and trade categories, this would allow Kiewit to have a funnel of labor that comes into the company, which allows them to continuously build on the overall of the company. So overall, the 3 states that Kiewit should focus on recruiting from, and this is what I've gotten from the data and shown in my storyboard, is that Kiewit should focus on recruiting overall throughout the states is Texas, California, and Florida. Thank you for your time, and thank you for reviewing my project.